Hey everyone, this is Alan from BMW Durham, back again with another video. Today we're talking about 2022 M240i versus 2023 M240i. Alright, so this is the 2023 M240i. My 2022 M240i has sold and has been delivered. So it's gone now. If you don't know, I had a 2022 M240i in the same color, Thunder Night Metallic, and then I got a 2023 G42 M240i in Thunder Night Metallic. So just quickly, I know you guys probably already know, but I just want to quickly go over some of the differences from 2022 to 2023, and then talk about some of the things that I like from each, iDrive 7 versus iDrive 8, that kind of stuff. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so right off the bat, on my 23, I was able to get the 50 years of BMW M anniversary rondelles, so that I like over my 2022. But I had the same color, and I also had black exterior contents, and I had shadowline headlights before, so to me all that is pretty well the same. And another nice thing is, this time around I got the 863 M wheels versus the 791. Ultimately, I think after having both, I like these wheels better, but I definitely like the red M Sport brakes way better, but that's not necessarily a 2022 versus 2023 difference. Now, next difference is, of course, the antenna. I'm indifferent to each antenna. The previous antenna kind of look like this, which has been in BMW's product lineup for a long time, but the new one looks like this. Kind of like the old one better, but it's really neither here nor there. Now, this time around, I got the M Sport Pro package, so I got the black spoiler on the trunk lid instead of body colored. I don't know if I like this one better or not. And overall, everything on the back is more or less the same, aside from the 50th anniversary rondelle. Now, if I open this up, so if you've seen my other videos, there's a net on this side as well as a grocery bag hanger. There used to be a net on this side and another grocery bag hanger where this plastic piece is, where I could potentially install one, but it's no longer there. So that is a little bit of a difference. Personally, I like two grocery bag hangers because I do use this car for everything, but it's a shame that there's only one now. So that's one small difference. Let's continue. Now I'm just in the back. Please excuse the dirt that my daughter kicked onto the back of the center console, but there used to be two USB Type-C charging ports down here. Those are gone, so that's a little bit of a detriment, but I never use them honestly, so really it doesn't matter. There was also pockets on the back of the seat. Now there's just footprints and ice cream. So that's a little bit of a change, but yeah, the pockets on the back of the seat were nice. Let's continue looking at all the other differences. Now, if I open the driver door, so yes, last time I had black Vernasca leather with the blue contrast stitching, so I got the M colors on there. The seats are fine as Sensitech. I don't find any lack of comfort, but I don't have the side bolsters, which to me, kind of like them, but not necessarily 100% deal breaker. But there's no storage compartment here, and even if I got the black Vernasca leather seats again, there still wouldn't be. And also I'm not having a drift knee pad here, but I really miss that, which I used to have. We also don't have an ambient light in this area anymore, so this part used to illuminate, it no longer illuminates, which again, neither here nor there. The car still drives amazing, and that wasn't something that I was like, oh, I really needed to light up here for any reason, but it used to do it, now it does not, so that's a little bit of a shame. Now, when we look inside, so last time I had the aluminum Tetragon trim. The aluminum Tetragon trim has now been replaced by the rhombical trim. I do not mind the rhombical trim at all. I think it looks fine. But this is different. So we've got iDrive 8 in here. And I do like iDrive 8. I do like iDrive 7. There's a couple of reasons why I like each. Alright, so I'm definitely missing the climate controls, because they're all inside of the screen now. So you always have full-time driver, full-time passenger temperature control. But if I hit climate menu, so I just want to show you this. So we're currently on automatic program, which means that it tries to automatically guess the optimal climate. So it's guessing that I want my heated seat, temperature down, balanced, and low. So I only have balanced or dynamic low, off, medium, high, very high. But if I turn this off, now I can go back to level 1, level 2, level 3, fan speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can choose where I want the fan to direct with defrost, and I can also do the passenger side here as well. So it's kind of interesting because, I mean, obviously the physical climate controls are still the better way to do things. But with automatic program, it tries to guess what you would like, and based on what you actually adjust, it actually does a pretty good job of guessing what you want. And of course, this is always easy to get to. So it's not actually that bad in terms of operating, because once you get in the car, maybe you just turn down the heated seat or turn it up, and then away you go and you don't touch it again. But of course, it's nicer when it's just everything is available here. But I like that you can actually do that in order to adjust things. It's not that bad, to be honest, but I like the physical buttons better. Oh, the display itself looks phenomenal. I think it actually looks better than iDrive 7, despite it not having that cowl that is common to cars where the cluster is. But I will say, after having this car for a couple of months, there's zero issue with visibility, glare, anything like that. Now I will say, dust gets on here a little bit easier because it's so open, but because it's so open, it actually makes it easier to clean as well. So that is definitely, a lot of people I think are concerned about that. Now, the way that it actually looks, I know a lot of people don't like the kickstand thing here, but it is all very sturdy. I think it is actually done very nicely, but it's just not traditional, and I think that's why a lot of people have a problem with it. But honestly, I think if this part looked like iDrive 7, it would be great. iDrive 8 looks fine too. But here's something that I also noticed. So I'm an Android user. So I'm using Google Maps on Android Auto, and if I navigate somewhere, I can get the map to show up here. So if I go to my comfort view, which I have this weird view, I get a much larger map. But I'm not sure that you can do that with Apple. I haven't had a chance to test, especially because I don't have an iPhone to test it on. So that's a little bit different. Now, if we get down here, so this part is pretty well the exact same, but I did have a wireless charger last time. I opted not to go for it because I think it's a little bit of a gimmick. It doesn't charge the phone well, makes your phone a million degrees, and sometimes while you're driving, if the phone shifts out of place, it stops charging and you don't realize, and then you get to your destination and now your phone's not charged. Now, if I look over here, so the gear selector, I really don't mind it, but the last one was definitely better for the simple reason that you could use it to shift. So sometimes if I'm going sideways and my steering wheel's upside down, since these are steering column mounted, the shift might be on the wrong side. So that's a little bit of a shame, but it's okay. I really don't mind it. It's not a big deal, and I think I might be one of the only people who might complain about this. Now, I do have the adaptive M suspension, but they took away the adaptive mode, which I really don't care about because I think it was kind of useless to begin anyways, because it uses the sensors on the vehicle as well as the historical data from your navigation to try and give you the most optimal, comfortable ride. But hey, guess what? There's another mode called Comfort that just puts it on the softest settings, which kind of is the equivalent. So there's that. Now, just because I know that some people were asking, how do I know if I have the adaptive mode if I don't have that button there, other than looking at your bill of sale? So if you go to configure Sport Individual, if it says damping here, then you have the option. If it doesn't say damping here, then you don't have the option. So just one quick way for you to know that. Let me just put myself back to Sport Plus. Now, another thing is, inside of here, so if you've watched my video about the sprint function, so if I press and hold the left paddle now, and let me just actually put myself into drive so I can actually do it. So if I press and hold the left paddle, I guess you can't do it if you're not moving. Okay, let's try this for a sec. If I go into sprint mode, it just says sprint on the bottom of the screen in yellow, where before it would actually put me into sport mode and the whole cluster would change to look like this. So I'm kind of like, why didn't they make it so that it does this anymore? So I don't know. It still does the exact same thing, still drives amazing, so I'm not really too concerned. but I thought it was cooler when the whole thing would go to this instead of, hopefully I can get a shot of it and edit it in. There's Sprint. See, it still says, it still shows like comfort screen, but it says Sprint here, which to tell you it's in Sprint, but before the whole dash used to change so it looks like I'm in Sport Plus, but it doesn't do that anymore, so that's kind of different. Now, another thing is, on iDrive 8, the board computer button no longer changes the analytical information that is being displayed here. Now, if you press this button, it allows you to change the content as well as the layout if you're in comfort mode, as well as your head-up display view. So in this sense, you have a little bit more options in terms of how you can adjust this, but I used to like having the map view here, as well as having the fuel economy information here, like real-time liters per 100 kilometers, average liters per 100 kilometers. But now I have to press the BC button to show the trip computer and have that showing there, but I can't have the map at the same time, which you could have in iDrive 7. So again, not really a big deal, but just something that I had a preference for before because I experienced this car already with iDrive 7. So now it is also cool. The head-up display, I think, is pretty awesome for the fact that it looks a little bit different. It's a bit more detailed, and it is really cool if you have this wider view on comfort mode and you're navigating somewhere with the BMW map, you'll actually get more visuals here to tell you what to do, which I think is pretty nice. Now, overall though, I know those are all negative things. I do also like the M colors that they added on the dash. They do illuminate at night. It's just not dark enough yet for me to show you this. But ultimately, I think the car is still really awesome. Great vehicle. But just small little things that I can nitpick about, and it's only because I have had the 2022, but anybody else, they would never notice, and they probably wouldn't care. But I'm that type of BMW nerd, so just wanted to share those things with you real quick. And I'll also make a video on launch control, because you can see now I've passed 2,000 kilometers, so that's pretty good. And also I want to make a video just going through iDrive 8 and how things have set up, but I'm just going to give you a quick preview of this. So I'm just going to lower my camera a bit, but I'm going to pull down the shortcuts here. So I'm just not showing you the top one because the first one I have is my wife's phone number. The next one is my mother's phone number. But then I have live vehicle, interior lighting, my destinations, and sync climate control. So see how my climate is not synced? So I can press this button that I put here and I can get it to sync to my climate without having to go too far into this menu to press this sync button that's up here. So just a couple little things that I thought were useful. And oh yeah, another thing is, because of the way the widgets are laid out here, so they're all taking up one block, whereas before you could have maybe 4 widgets on one page in quarters, which previously allowed me to do things like, for instance, let's say if I was in Eco Pro and I wanted to see driving style analysis while still seeing the sports display so I can see how much horsepower and torque I'm using. I know nobody else looks at this information, but for me it was kind of nice to have it all on one screen. But now that they've changed it to this adaptive content, so if I'm in sport, it shows this screen. If I'm in eco, it shows driving style analysis. And if I'm in comfort, it shows trip computer and what's this, coasting. So that's kind of, it's not how I'd like to customize it, but it is still doing the same thing. All right, so quickly, this is not an M240i, but this is iDrive 7, so I just wanted to touch on what I was talking about. So if I press the BC button over here, I can swap what is in the right-hand side of the dash, which is technically the board computer. But before, I used to like to leave it on this so I can gauge how hard I'm pressing the gas and how much liters per 100 kilometers that's costing me, but while still maintaining the map here. Now, the other thing that I was talking about over here with the widgets, so if I hit Eco Pro, I can actually have sports displays and driving style analysis here, so I can try to stay under a certain amount of torque, and I can also see how well I'm doing for braking and accelerating in terms of efficiently. So I think because I don't have the ability to see these pieces of information the same way as I used to, it's actually resulting in me getting worse fuel economy. And I know that in the colder months you get a little bit worse fuel economy, but having that information visible, I think, helps me get better fuel economy. But neither here nor there, just a small little thing that I'm used to, but had I never had a 2022, I would know no difference. So just wanted to show you that example. Now, another cool thing is if you have iDrive 8 on live vehicle, you can rotate your car. Unfortunately, this car does have cerium gray accents, and it looks like it maybe does not have shadow line headlights like my car. It also has 792 wheels on here, which I don't have. And the antenna, I don't know if the antenna is correct or not, but it says live vehicle because it is live vehicle. So if I signal, if I let go of the brake pedal, if I open the door, it is live. So that's actually pretty cool. And if you look at this while driving, it does some cool things like tell you if it's recharging the battery, if you're doing efficient coasting. So that's kind of cool, but again, it's kind of gimmicky, but I like it. Other than that, I don't think that there's anything else that is really too different about this vehicle.
Head east toward Achilles Road.
Head east towards Achilles Road. But yeah, ultimately, still a wonderful car, still drives amazing. Once I do some launches in it, which I haven't actually done yet, I want to see if it can still do 0 to 100 in about 3.8 seconds, 3.7, 3.8, which we advertised this car can do 4.2, so we're underrated for that, which is awesome. But yeah. And just to show you this live vehicle thing, so wheels are spinning now because the car is in motion, and then if I lift, is it gonna say, yeah, it's charging the battery, which is kind of cool. And if I brake, the car will also stop. So that's kind of cool that it does that. All right, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you turn on the car. The head-up display comes into place. It shows the car like this, and it shows that nobody's wearing their seatbelt. And once you put the car into drive, the car flips down, which is kind of cool. And there is the head-up display over there. And if I put it into sport or something else, it changes color. And when I turn off the car, it does this cool kind of like exit animation. 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone, so that was my comparison between the 2022 and 2023 M240i. Both vehicles are really good. I would be happy with either one. I'm happy in my 23. There are some pros and cons to both vehicles, but if you're just looking for a great rear-biased sports coupe, this is an excellent choice. Don't steer away from it. I give it my recommendation. And who knows, I'll probably end up having more unless I do really well and I can afford the M2. With that being said, leave some comments below and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. All right, everyone, so that was my tour of what? No, this is the wrong video.